Hey lovelies, and welcome to today's video. Tomorrow I am officially 6 weeks postpartum and I still have the urge to continue working on our house. I'm gonna call it the fixer-upper bug, and since we are all at home because of COVID-19, pretty much this is the time that we need to be most efficient. So my next project is I'm gonna be using peel and stick or self-adhesive tile to refinish the backsplash in my kitchen. The product I'm going to be using is by Smart Tiles, and again it's self-adhesive wall tiles, so peel and stick. You guys know that we did the floor in our kitchen with peel and stick laminate. Was it laminate?
Yes.
Or not linoleum.
Not vinyl.
Peel and stick vinyl?
Laminate. Who knows what we're putting in our house?
I told Donald if we could peel and stick our entire house, I would. So at this point, we're going for that. I did share this project over on my Instagram and let you guys know what I was going to be doing. And a lot of you said you wanted to see the process of before, me completing the project, and then the after. So I'm not promising that we're going to get this done today, but I'm going to get it started. So I am going to share with you guys the process of its entirety. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you as a regular subscriber of the Sykes Fam channel. My name is Alyse. I am married to my husband. We have 2 daughters now. We are a new family of 4 as of the end of March. So we just had our second baby in the midst of COVID-19, and we have a lot of going on right now. We are coming up on our 3rd year in this home, and every year we've been doing more and more to kind of make it our own, and I really have been enjoying it. And I know so many of you are doing similar stuff, doing a lot of home renovation type stuff because everybody's at home again right now, and I want to give you guys inspiration that you can do yourself and is at least semi-affordable. So again, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, I would love to have you as a regular subscriber. You will definitely be in for so much content. So hit that red subscribe button before you leave today's video. Give this a thumbs up if you are excited to see how this turns out. And let's get started. So this is the area I'm going to be starting first. Donald has pulled out the stove for me, and this is what the backsplash looks like currently. It's basically just really generic tile. The reason I'm not in love with it though is because it is kind of yellowing. We do have plans to eventually replace the countertop. I'm actually looking into granite overlay right now, so if you guys have experience with that, let me know. Leave me a comment down below, and then eventually maybe I can convince Donald to paint the cabinets. One kind of hiccup, and if you guys hear noise in the background, that's my laundry machine. My laundry machine, my washer. One kind of thing that we've came across already is we tried to remove this little seam, and it's actually metal, and it hooks after it goes between both the tile and the cabinet. It hooks up behind the tiles. So basically that's permanent for our DIY situation at least. So I'm gonna take the tile right up to the edge here, and then eventually when we get something that does sit on top of this cabinet or this countertop, hopefully it's tall enough to then cover this, and maybe we can just use some sort of caulking to build that seam again. All right, you guys, it's days later, and I'm about to take you through a huge update. So this is the area that you guys can see where I started the peel and stick tile. It looks, let's see if I do this. It looks better than like the yellowing tile behind it, which you guys can really see the color contrast when they're right up against one another. However, let me go through a couple reasons why we're not going to be doing this. So this is the edging. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not sticking on the edge at all. So the adhesive itself is not super duty, in my opinion. Like I told you guys at the beginning of this video, I just did peel and stick laminate for this faux wood look in our kitchen. And this stuff really seemed heavier duty in comparison to my experience with this stuff. Now, if that was the only problem, we honestly could get past that, because I think we could have taken some silicone caulking type material. I didn't research the exact thing that we would have used just because we weren't going to do it. But we could have pressed it down really hard, and then we could have sealed the edge in a sense. So if everything else that I'm talking to you guys about doesn't matter to you, that would have been our next step in regards to the edge. The only other thing, let me see if I can turn this other light on and allow some additional light. The only other thing that I had as a suggestion in regards to the edge, which I will share with you guys just because I'm going to share everything that I've read and researched about for this project, in case you guys want to do something specific for your area. But some people were only taking the peel and stick tile right up to the front edge, if that makes sense. So they weren't wrapping it around, and thus they weren't dealing with having to stick it down on the side. However, in our case, if we didn't do that, we would literally just have this off-colored edging. And for me, that's not what I was going for. I mean, maybe in a rental, maybe in a place where it's just so horrific looking that like you need something, anything to cover it up. Maybe I could see where that would be acceptable, but for me, the place that we're trying to upgrade, it's just not my jam. Okay, so in regards to the heavy dutiness of the adhesive also comes into play at the seam. So let's see if I can focus this a little bit better. This is a seam right here and down. So you're basically playing Tetris every time you lay down a tile. Oh, come on, let's focus, camera. And I don't know if you can see this very well. You can kind of see it up here, but this has been sticking for about a day and a half, and you can see that it's lifting. Here, let me focus it again. It is lifting along that seam. So all the way down it's lifting. And that's not just this tile, it's all of the tiles that I laid. So I've laid I laid 4 tiles. So that is happening on all the tiles that I laid 4 total. And let me walk you through our situation. Again, we are in the kitchen. This is a backsplash. There's a lot of area where we're going to be cooking, obviously, in the kitchen, and the backsplash currently gets wiped down almost daily, especially when we're cooking in here. So I tried to wipe this backsplash peel and stick tile down, and it immediately was catching on all of these places that were lifting. So to me, that means that this type of material should be used in a place where you're really not going to have much contact with it, because every time you go to clean it or wipe it down, you do have that possibility of it lifting. And then to me, my brain starts thinking like every time I wipe here, there's gonna start to be like grime that you're not fully gonna be able to clean away. And that's not what you wanna see on white tile. That's not what you want to see in an area that you're trying to keep really, really clean. So let me talk to you about what we've decided to do instead. All right, so I did go ahead and give in to what the rest of my family wanted me to do from the beginning, and that is a tub and tile refinishing kit. We went ahead and picked out this Rust-Oleum one. It's hugely popular, so I've seen a lot of experience with it. I've seen a lot of people with experience with it. It's really easy instructions to follow. it just seems overall really accessible and easy for DIYers like myself. The reason this was not my first option is because when you start to deal with tub and tile primer type materials, you guys will find that pretty much everything has a Prop 65 warning on it. And my own opinion, again, this is just my opinion that I'm expressing, is that I'd really like to limit my exposure to that when possible. I completely hear the argument that there's Prop 65 warnings on pretty much everything, like the entire house that we're living in. However, if I can make a choice moving forward that doesn't include something like that, then that's what I would prefer. I kind of feel like I came to a fork in the road, if you will, and I have decided that we are going to move forward with this tub and tile kit. One of the reasonings that I'm okay with it more so in this area is because of our exposure. Again, we do clean the backsplash, but we're using a material to do that. We're not directly touching the backsplash every day. We're not soaking in the backsplash. So in general, in my opinion, our exposure is relatively limited. I'm also going to be doing something to put a barrier in a certain area of the backsplash that you guys will see as kind of a last minute detail on this video. So definitely stay tuned to the end to see that. And that's where we're at, people. So before I get into actually using the kit, I am going through and making sure I'm doing a really gnarly clean on the backsplash. I'm actually following instructions from a video that my husband and I have watched, and we see as very successful in the DIY home refurnishing, home renovation type scale. So if you guys are interested, I will link that video down below and you guys can see how that channel kind of approaches this specific scenario with this specific kit. After I cleaned with the abrasive cleaner and the scour pad, Donald just went over with a 400 level sandpaper and sanding block, and he sanded down again because we actually did this right before we started the peel and stick tile. And then I just went back over again after he sanded everything with a damp cloth to kind of wipe away any dust that might be on the actual tile. And now we're gonna wait to make sure it's completely dry, about 15 minutes, and then we'll get started on the instructions of the tub and tile kit. And I just wanted to give you guys like a little look. It's taken us forever to get started on this project because we're a new family of 4. And although all these countertops look cleared off, I just wanna show you guys what it looks like in the back. This is what it takes. You just kind of have to let something else go, clearly, in order to prioritize getting a home project done. At least that is what it's like now for us. Coat 1 is done. I've just been using a old towel to kind of follow me around because the paint itself is super drippy. In the video that I share with you guys in the description box and that I reviewed before doing this, taped off all of their countertops because they were granite and they wanted to keep them protected, so they used a tarp across all their countertops. But we are actually going to be pursuing some sort of different countertop, who knows when exactly, but while I don't want to make these countertops damaged by any means because we're still going to be using them for an unforeseen amount of time, I don't necessarily need to tarp them off completely, if that makes sense. But that is a tip that you guys probably should think about if you do have countertops that you want to protect. I've been using a roller brush, and then I'm gonna have to use an actual smaller paintbrush to go up on the edges, and then we're gonna wait for this to dry for about an hour, and then we will get started on a second coat. All right, it is officially weeks later, you guys, and I just wanted to give you a good view of how this turned out. We ended up doing 3 coats, right? Didn't we do 3 coats? Yeah, we did 3 coats on the Backsplash, and it looks so good. I am so happy we did it. It really brightens up the kitchen, and it just makes us feel like we need to change the counters even sooner. I did want to give you guys a couple pitfalls that happened. We definitely didn't have a ventilated enough space, so we should have gotten like fans and opened the windows, and it kind of caught up to us pretty quickly. So in general, I just would make sure you have like an over ventilated area, so that same thing doesn't happen to you, because the tub and towel kit was extremely potent. But you live and you learn. We also were able to handle it in the moment, but in case you'd like to prepare for that, please do so. And then another thing I was going to share with you guys is it did do a little bit of bleeding through the paint on this little border here. You guys can see this. Technically, I can kind of go through and chip that off if I wanted to. However, it's not that bothersome to me. And I know eventually we are going to replace the counters like I talked about, and that will get covered up. So as of right now, not a huge bother. You guys can see another project we have on deck. All right, and for the grand finale, I want to share with you guys the coffee bar area. I am so excited about how this area turned out, you guys. So I wanted to share it with you because obviously we painted the Backsplash, but then I found these peel and stick decals in the Target dollar spot. I repeat, in the Target dollar spot. And I picked up easily like 6 packs of them because I contemplated doing the entire kitchen. But after I did the coffee bar, I realized having this little accent area was absolutely perfect, and I'm obsessed with it. So this is where we keep our coffee maker. You guys can see my LV if you know about that life, our baby Brezza, and it just is so cute. I love it so much, and it is such a perfect way to incorporate that accent tile without breaking the bank and without retiling our kitchen. And nobody, unless we tell them, knows that this is peel and stick tile. Peel and stick little decals. I'm honestly so thrilled with how it turned out. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for clicking on it and watching. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned because, like I said, we have a lot of other DIY projects coming up, and it's going to be a huge portion of my channel. So you'll definitely want to hit the subscribe button before you leave today's video so you can be a part of that. Let me know if you guys have done something similar in your own house and how it turned out by leaving me a comment below. I would love to hear about your guys' experience. All right, hope this gave you guys some much needed inspiration during this crazy time in our world, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.